This is Guy Manning. I'm in Europe with UPF, and you're watching on Morow.com, Progressive Rock Radio. Have they stopped? I'm not sure. They're having a break. I think you may see some more from Unitopia yet. They are not stopped, they're just breaking. Mark and Sean wanted to do different things for a little while, but I think they will be back with some more material for Unitopia at some point. We don't know when yet. Well, out of the ashes of that discussion between Sean and Mark wanting to do other things, they were working on a Unitopia album at the time and decided that they would like to do their own separate projects. So Mark took some of the material from that album, and Sean took some of the material from that album, and he's working on it with his own project band at the moment. And what Mark had were basically 4 people from old Unitopia: himself, Dave Hopgood on the drums, Tim Ergang on the percussion, and most importantly, Matt Williams, who produces and plays the guitar. Those were the guys who played with Unitopia. What they needed was the other half of the band. So they looked around, and Mark and I had, we talked over the years since we first got in contact with each other a long time ago. And he asked me if I'd be interested, and I said, well, yes, I'm quite happy to do it as long as you don't expect me to play like Sean, because Sean's a brilliant keyboard player and I'm passable. So he said, well, we don't need Sean. What we want is something slightly different, something that's a different approach to this material. I said, okay, I'll have a go. And then he said, well, do you know any bass players? And I said, well, I'll have a look. And at the time, he had already lined up Ian Ritchie, who had played with Unitopia on the last Unitopia tour, to do the wind parts and the saxophones brilliantly. But Ian came back off a European tour and decided he wanted to concentrate on his own material first, and so he couldn't sign up for this project. So I asked Mark Arnold, who I'd been working with on my Manning albums. He's a brilliant saxophone player, and he also plays the keyboard, so he can help me out, you see. So that made life very, very happy for me. He gets all the hard bits. So Marek has come over to do that. We went through then a series of bass players, because we were going to have John Jowett at first, but he couldn't do it. Then we went to Steve G from Landmark, and he was going to do it, and then Landmark got busy and he couldn't do it. And then Jonathan Barrett from The Tangent, my old friend, was going to do it, but he couldn't do the tour. So Mark said, well, if you can't do the tour, really shouldn't do the album, because we want it to sound the same. So then I found my way to Dan Mash, also from The Tangent and Machine, his own band with Luke Make-Chinin. And that's how we came together. So it was like 4 from Unitopia and the others. So we are the others. We're the European bit of the band, and that's how it started.
The choices we make, the questions we ask.
Well, that's tricky because of with this first album, because of where it came from and the demos that had been already written for Unitopia, it's always going to have a little bit of a Unitopia flavour to it, because it had that already built into it. Having said that, we've tried to make it edgier, so there's more guitar, less keyboards, if you see what I mean. So it's a little bit more gritty, a lot more featuring of the saxophone as a lead instrument and an ensemble instrument, rather than just the occasional sax solo. It's more integrated. So the new material for this album is a sort of like Unitopia moving away, sort of slightly more Gabriel-esque, that sort of way. And the next album will probably be more different, because we'll all start to write it from scratch rather than have a set of demos to work from already. Well, it worked for Jethro Tull in the Passion Play, it worked for Yes in Topographic Oceans. Yes, it also worked for Genesis on The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway. So, yes, it's risky, but other people have taken the risk before us. And we think the material's good. And I think if you like the material, when you get the CD, you'll remember some of it. And hopefully that'll be enough. Plus, there's some other things in the set which are not UPF material, which anybody who followed the band up to now will probably recognise. So.
Then I'll be truly snowed in.
Well, we've got some Unitopia songs in there. Do you want me to tell you exactly what we're playing, or can't you just wait to watch it? We're playing Justify, this is if it all goes to plan. We don't know how long we've got. So if we were playing all the songs, we'd play Justify, Not Human Anymore, The Great Reward, and then a medley of Tesla in the Garden, pushed together, from Unitopia. Then most of the new UPF album, which is a track called Choices, Intersection, Water, Don't Look Back, and The Travelling Man, which is the long piece we do. And the title track, if we get an encore, the title track, Fall in Love with the World, will be the end. So that's the set.
And not material from your own career?
No, not this time. No. I've got a lot of it, but this time we wanted to, I mean, the thing was that it's more people will recognise the Unitopia brand than will recognise my stuff. If I play some of my songs, they're brilliant though they are, you know, it won't help the set. We wanted to make a balanced set. Next time I'll be writing for UPF, so it'll be different. So, you know, my songs will be incorporated into what we all do, hopefully. And if I get a chance at some of the dates we do later in Europe, I might do a small acoustic set of my own material before we play, where we haven't got a support band in place. So I get to wear myself out twice.
Fall in love with the world. The world.